All right, now let's get into some good old MLB DFS. We're going to skip the review today just because we do have so much going on today with football and all that, and try and shorten the show a little bit. Howell, thank you for showing up. Jeff, yes, I hope it plays as well. Now let's get into the DFS. We're going to start off by the high-owned pitchers, then we'll get into some pivots on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Then we will get over some stacks as we always do. Thank you guys for joining us. If you are not aware, I'm the host, Tyler Wiemann, and come join us at LineStar, $39.99 per month or $240 for the year. All right, highest owned pitcher, we got Carlos Rodon coming in at 37%. I personally do not love this Carlos Rodon spot. He hasn't been as good as of late. Well, I guess he has actually been 3.6. He's came out of his little poor stretch that he was going through. But 3.6 FIP over a 2.43 ERA over the last 20, 3.98. 25% K rate over the last 20, but only 17.5 over the last 5. That's part of the problem for me. The other aspect is he is much worse away than he is at home. And we have a very good Astros offense. While it hasn't been great versus lefties lately, over the last 150 games, it is a solid offense versus lefties. And I think they could bounce back at home in this spot. I'm fine with some Rodon. It's only a 5-game slate here, so it's not like we have a ton of pitching options. I'm going to get to some, but probably not getting to a ton. Next, Ryan Papio, 8.2K, 34% owned versus Cleveland. Look, he's been very good lately, 3.74 FIP, 26% K rate over the last 20. That's 4.35 and a 26% K rate as well. StatCast wise, too much hard contact. That is the scary aspect. But outside of that, he has been solid. He needs to miss some bats here at home in a very hitter-friendly park. But this Cleveland offense has been absolutely awful lately. And for that, and the 8.2K price, I think it's very interesting to go with some Ryan Papio at 25% combined K rate for today. And he's averaging 24% more fantasy points while home. Next, we got Paul Skeens, 32% owned. I mean, Paul Skeens is an automatic, you have to consider him any slate he's playing. 2.28 FIP over his last 20, 2.67 over the last 5, high K rate. Now, the issue here is he's against the Dodgers, a very good offense, but Dodgers been struggling a little bit at the plate versus righties. 222 average, only a 304 WOBA, 162 ISO. They haven't been quite as dominant as they generally are. And last time he faced the Dodgers, he went 6.1 innings, 9 Ks, 0 earned runs, a win, a quality start. I don't mind this spot for Skeens. Probably going to get some. I think this is another late start and play type situation. Skeens is one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the MLB. I don't care that he's against the Dodgers. I'm going to get some. Next, we got Blake Snell, 9K. He's probably my favorite pitcher on this slate. 2.32 FIP over his last 20, 34% K rate over that span versus a 3.22 over the last 5 and a 30% K rate over that span. He allows a lot of line drives, but he is keeping the ball on the ground mostly with 46% ground ball rate. This Pittsburgh offense is not that good versus lefties, especially over the last 120 games with a 181 average. Hitting the ball hard, but low average, low WOBA. If there's a home run off Snell, it just needs to be with nobody on base, and Snell's in a great spot to just dominate. He's also been very good versus them in past. 68 plate attempts, 25% K rate. And Timothy, yes, Alvarez is back. he's a very good hitter. You can pretty much always play him. Don't mind that play whatsoever. Anyway, Snell, 26.6% combined K rate. I am very much interested in him. Now let's get into some pivots. I know in props, I do like Christian Javier, but at 6,900 going low owned, I'm going to get a little bit of him in DFS. And the reason is he does have a big time ceiling. He is one of these pitchers that we like to talk about in DFS because there is high volatility, high variance in his outings. He is a guy that can walk 4, give up 3 earned runs or 5 runs total in 2 innings, and then come back with 6 innings pitched, no hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks. Now, I don't love the spot versus the Yankees, but at least he's at home where he is better. All in all, I think the Yankees are going to throw out a ton of lefties and make this game difficult for Javier, but I cannot stop thinking about the fact that he has a very high ceiling and he could break the slate at a 6.9 salary. I'm going to have a little bit, not going to have a ton. Do think he's interesting. Next, we got Taj Bradley at 6.5K. Taj Bradley is another guy that has a big ceiling when he gets it going. The 4.55 FIP over those last 20 isn't great. 4.74 over the last 5, also not great. High fly ball rate, but at least the wind is coming in today, which could help him keep the ball in the park a little bit. Now, this White Sox team is hitting very well lately, smashing some home runs. They have 20 over the last 20 games. 265 average, definitely a little bit worrisome. Also, other aspect is we need to check the weather prior to the game starts. I think the game is just going to be a late start and play, but I think it does play. Therefore, 6,500 is very much interesting. 20% combined K rate. He has the ceiling at this price to get it done. Probably a little bit of a safer play than Javier and similar ceiling. So I do prefer Bradley. Both guys are tough clicks, though. However, it gets you different and lets you also pay up for some bats if you want to pay up for Skeens, Rodon, or Snell. That will do it for the DraftKings. Over on to FanDuel, our high-owned pitchers is Snell and Skeens. No surprise there. I do think you can go to Bradley, Rodon, or Javier if you want. 8,400 for Pepio is super, super interesting too. I might have a decent amount of Pepio. Skeens, Snell, Pepio are probably going to be my 3 highest owned on FanDuel. Let's get over to our stack attacks. Just a quick round this out on only a 5-game slate here. Our high owned, we got the Royals versus Hendricks. You guys know I don't love stacking against Hendricks. He is just an annoying pitcher for me because he consistently is 2-3 earned runs, goes 5-6 innings. You don't get into that Angels bullpen that much, and it's just not very many blowout games. It's a 5-game slate. I don't care if we get a little bit of Royals. I'm just not going to go overboard on them. I think I will, kind of go some other places and have it be that way. Yankees versus Javier. I do prefer the lefties big time. Javier is much better at home. And then also better versus righties. I will play some righties, but not going to have a ton of them. I do also want to bring up this aspect of Judge. 18 plate attempts. He's hitting 0 off of Javier. Wild situation in my research that I saw. You just don't see that from Judge very often. So maybe not the best time to play Judge, or he's due. You do with that information what you will. Now, highest projected. We got Yankees versus Javier. I obviously don't mind it. We are taking 2 props for the Yankees today. And I'm going to have a decent amount of Yankees stack. I'm going to have a decent amount of this game in general. I don't mind those Houston stacks. I like the Yankees ones as well. Then our high value plays, we got White Sox versus Bradley. I think that is an obvious option. Bradley allows a lot of fly balls. If White Sox are able to connect on a couple, a stack becomes pretty interesting. Pittsburgh versus Snell. Stacking versus Snell is always an option just due to the fact that sometimes he doesn't have the best command. And when that happens, there's just such a higher likelihood of runs being put up. So I don't mind a little bit of Pittsburgh. Cleveland versus Pepio. Don't love it. Probably one of my least favorite stacks of the day. And then Royals, we talked about. Our high ceiling stacks, Yankees. High leverage, we got Dodgers versus Skeens. It's a super good offense. I hate going against Skeens, but hey, if he only goes 5 innings, you get into the bullpen, it's not that crazy of a situation, that could happen there. Clicking on the teams tab, we have 4.9 for Royals, 4.8 for Yankees, 4.7 for Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is a very, very interesting stack today versus Logan Allen. Probably going to have a decent amount of them. They've been hitting well. Yankees, obviously, I like. Minnesota, I pick a Bucks and bomb today, so I do believe Minnesota has some interesting plays as well. And then Houston at 4.2, I think is super interesting. Carlos Rodon, he's not striking guys out right now and is way worse away. So I am interested in that play. Angels versus Cameron is interesting. Adele has been on fire, like Jeff said. So absolutely interested in a couple Angels. Now, the thing with the Angels, they're just so boom or bust. I don't mind some of their bats probably going to be a secondary stack for me rather than, the first one. Don't mind some White Sox. Dodgers Pitt, definitely not going to get too much of either. Don't mind if I get one or two just on leverage type plays. That will do it for us today, guys, though. Breaking down both props and DFS quickly for the slate. And let's get ready for some football tonight as well. Hope you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for joining me, and let's make some money. Talk to you all later. Peace.